Good afternoon, one and all. In last lecture, we have seen the points related to dynamic loads. Whatever the loads which are come on the system, that are the dynamic loads. What is the dynamic load, static loads? Okay, what is the difference between these two types of the load? That part we have covered. After that, in the system, which type of the forces will be produced? That are the F internal forces when external forces are applied on the system. So from that, we have seen the three types of the forces which are produced into the system, and that are the three forces are the restoring force, second one is the damping force, and third one is the inertia force. These three forces are produced into the system. So you can see here with respect to this K into X, that is the restoring force. After that, there is a C into X dot. So C into X dot, that is the damping force, and third one is the because of M, that is the inertia force is produced into the system. Means these total three forces are equal to Cx dot plus Kx plus Mx double dot is equal to P of T. That is the general equation of dynamic analysis, where P of T is the external force, Mx double dot, that is the inertia force, K into X, that is the stiffness force, and Cx dot is the damping force. These are the forces which will be produced into the system. And so based on this, we have considered here the different damping equation with the different cases. So you can see this undamped free system. Again, that is the damped free system, undamped forced vibration, and damped forced vibration system. So in this way, there are the different cases we have assumed for the different types of the system. And based on this, we have to go for the different equations. So up to this, we have covered in the last lecture. Okay, so there are the in this for solving these dynamic equations, we have to go for this Newton's law, Newton's second law, that is ma inertia is equal to mass into acceleration. Again, there is a damping which changes with respect to the velocity, that is the damping coefficient into its velocity. The restoring force, that is the K into X. Okay, in this way, these forces were produced, and finally, we will conclude that the whatever the total forces, internal forces which are produced into the system, that are equal to the internal forces are equal to the external forces. So internal forces produced into the system are three forces, which are those. The first one is the inertia force, second one is the damping force, third one is the restoring force, and that are the internal forces. And if the external forces is applied, then at that time the internal forces resist to the external forces, then that system will be in a equilibrium position. So based on this, there are the different derivations over here. So we solve the different derivations. Okay, and before solving these derivations, we should know some of the definitions, basic definitions about the degrees of freedom. Again, what is the natural frequency, what is the damping, that parameter we see within a short period, and then we move towards the derivation. Okay, so first you understand is what is the degrees of freedom. Okay, so degrees of freedom is nothing but minimum number of independent coordinates required to define completely the position of all parts of the body. What the minimum number of independent coordinates required to define completely the position of all parts of a system at any instant of time is known as degrees of freedom. Okay. तर बघा एखादी बॉडी असेल तर त्या आपल्याला बॉडीला जर काय करायचंय डिफाईन करायचंय फॉर डिफाइनिंग सच अ बॉडी we have to go for the minimum number of independent coordinate आणि मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंट कोऑर्डिनेटच्या सहाय्याने जर आपण एखादी बॉडी जर डिफाईन करत असेल इन ऑल रिस्पेक्ट, इन ऑल पार्ट्स ऑफ द बॉडी, all parts of the system at any instant of time is known as a degrees of freedom. त्यामध्ये मग सिंगल डिग्रीज ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टीम असतील किंवा मल्टिपल डिग्रीज ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टीम असेल. सिंगल डिग्री ऑफ फ्रीडम सिस्टीम असेल then that will be shown by the single degree. Okay, multiple degrees of freedom system that will be shown by the multi degrees of freedom system. So I hope all of you understand about this degrees of freedom system. So I request all of you, please write down this definition of degrees of freedom in your notebook. Write down minimum number of independent coordinates, minimum number of independent coordinates required to define completely the positions of all parts of a system, positions of all parts of a system, all parts of a system at any instant of time, at any instant of time is known as, at any instant of time is known as degrees of freedom, degrees of freedom. Okay, now we'll move towards the next point, that is the types of vibration. And from that we see the different vibration types, that is the free vibration and the forced vibration. And after that we'll go for the next step. Okay, first one is the free vibration. So already we have discussed in the last lecture. So what is the forced vibration? The forced vibration म्हणजे काय? It is a, if a system which is, if a system which is vibrate without applying any external force. Okay, the free vibration म्हणजे काय? There is no any external force which is applied to the system. Okay, if any if a system after initial disturbance is left to vibrate on its own. बघा एखादी सिस्टीम आहे त्याला आपण जस्ट आपण काय केलेलं आहे, फोर्स अप्लाय केलेला आहे, बट फॉर फर्दर टाइम it will be getting disturbed, and that is nothing but a free vibration. Means there is just some force which is applied at initial stage only, and after that that is getting to be disturbed for 5 minutes or 6 minutes. Likewise, initial disturb केल्यानंतर परत ती जर सिस्टीम आहे तर ती जर left to vibrate on its own, then such a system is known as the free vibration. But there is no any external force which is applied continuously on that system. So such a system when vibrate, then such a vibrations are known as a free vibrations. Okay, its best example is a simple pendulum. Okay, example, best example is here, that is the simple pendulum. Okay, next one is the forced vibration. So what is the forced vibration? The forced vibration मध्ये एखाद्या सिस्टम वरती काय केलं जातं, एक्सटर्नल फोर्स हा अप्लाय केला जातो. Means repetitive external force is applied to the system. If a system is subjected to an external force upon a repetitive types of force, the resulting vibrations are known as forced vibrations. And these oscillations that arises in machines such as diesel engines is an example of forced vibration. बघा, तर डिझेल इंजिन जे आहेत तर त्यामध्ये कंटिन्युअसली फोर्स आहे, काय केलं तर रिपिटेटिव्ह फोर्स हा कशावरती रिपिटेटिव्ह फोर्स दिला जातो. सो बिकॉज ऑफ दिस रिपिटेटिव्ह फोर्स तर त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे, कंटिन्युअसली व्हायब्रेशन्स आर ऑफर, अँड दॅट vibrations are produced because of the forcing system, and the example is the diesel engines. तुम्ही बघितलं असेल वेगवेगळे मोठे मशीन्स असतात तर त्यामध्ये डिझेल इंजिन्स असतील तर त्यामध्ये फोर्स अप्लाय केल्यामुळे there will be a continuously vibrations are offered, and that vibrations are known as a forced vibration. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood the difference between these two types of the vibrations. Okay, we'll move towards the next point. So before that, you write please what is the example of this free vibration and forced vibration. So write down the free vibration example is simple pendulum. Simple pendulum. Write down, if a system after an initial disturbance, a system after an initial disturbance is left to vibrate, is left to vibrate on its own, on its own, full stop. No external force, no external force acts on a system, no external force acts on system. Full stop. The oscillation of simple pendulum, the oscillation of simple pendulum is an example of free vibration. Is an example of free vibration. Below this written forced vibration. Forced vibration. If a system is subjected to an external force, if a system is subjected to an external force, often a repeating type of force, often a repeating types of force, the resulting vibrations, the resulting vibrations are known as the resulting vibrations are known as forced vibrations. Forced vibrations. Stop. The oscillations that arises in machines, the oscillations that are arises in machines, such as the diesel engine is an example of forced vibration. Oscillations that arises in machines such as diesel engine is an example of forced vibration. Full stop. Below this undamped vibration. Okay, that undamped vibration, that part already we have discussed in the last lecture also. So with damping and without damping, there is a that point is related to the dissipation of energy. So dissipation of energy, whenever dissipation of energy, whenever the dampers are provided in the system, बघा डॅम्पर जेव्हा सिस्टीम मध्ये आपण प्रोव्हाइड केलेले असतात तर त्यावेळेला काय होते, तर त्या ठिकाणी एनर्जी काय होणार आहे, त्या ठिकाणी लॉस होणार आहे, एनर्जी त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहे, एनर्जी डिसिपेट होणार नाही. whenever the dampers are provided, the energy is getting disturbed. When energy is getting dissipated, कधी तर whenever there is a dampers are provided. But if the dampers are not there in the system, then there is no energy is getting lost, there is no energy getting dissipated from the system. Okay, so undamped is nothing but there is no any damper. Damper नाही येत म्हणजे काय, it is nothing but no energy is lost or dissipated in the friction or other resistance during the oscillations. Okay, that point you have to understand. With damper and without damper. With damper असेल तर energy is getting dissipated. The best example I have told you that shock absorbers. Shock absorber काय करतात तर energy dissipate करतात. Okay, and if that shock absorber is not there, that system becomes rigid. So there is no energy is dissipated. Okay, so that system becomes as an undamped system. Okay, so now we'll move towards the next point. So that is the damped vibration. So what is the damped vibration? So damped vibration, if any energy is lost, energy in the last damped vibration, there is a energy is not no energy is lost during this undamped system. But in the damped system, there is a energy is lost during the oscillation. Energy is lost during the oscillation, and these are the vibrations are known as a damped vibrations. These are the vibrations are known as a damped vibration. And if considerable amount damping is present in the system, the damping modeling becomes important. Okay. So simple structures like overhead water tank can be assumed as a concentrated or lumped mass M supported by the modular structures of stiffness scale. Okay. So whatever the structures are there, in the structures, if we apply some damping system, then automatically whatever the loads coming from the earthquake loads coming on the structure, that will be whatever the energy that will be reduced by the dampers and energy is dissipated, so our structure remains same. Okay, and so for that purpose, we have to go for the damped system. Okay, now we'll move towards the next point. Some free vibrations basics point are here. So you have to write these points. So we'll move towards the derivation part. Okay, so write down. I request all of you please write down these points. Basic features of vibratory system. Please write down these points. Periodic motion. Periodic motion. So we'll see first what is the periodic motion. So periodic motion, what is this periodic motion? The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as a periodic motion. What is meant by the periodic motion? The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called as periodic motion. ओके, तर पिरियडिक मोशन मध्ये जे रेग्युलर इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम म्हणजे कंटिन्युअसली त्या ठिकाणी मोशन ज्या रिपीट्स होणार आहेत आफ्टर रेग्युलर इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम इज नोन ॲज अ पिरियडिक मोशन. म्हणजे पिरियडिकली 1 आवर 2 आवर 3 आवर जेव्हा काही रेग्युलरली त्या ठिकाणी काय होणार आहेत तर मोशन रिपीट्स होणार आहेत आफ्टर अ रेग्युलर इंटरवल ऑफ टाइम इज नोन ॲज अ पिरियडिक मोशन. So such a types of the definitions will be asked to you for the MCQ based questions. Okay, the practically MCQ will be over there. The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is called a dash dash dash. The frequency, amplitude, time period, and the last option is the periodic motion. So likewise questions will be asked to you. So you should know what is the periodic motion, or the motion which repeats after a regular interval of time is known as a periodic motion. Okay, that you should know. Next one is the frequency. So what is the frequency? The number of cycles completed within a unit time is called a natural frequency. Okay, the number of cycles completed in a unit time. Number of cycles completed in a unit cycle, unit time, or number of cycles एका सेकंद मध्ये जितके काही cycles complete होतात. Unit is a cycles per second. कुठला unit आहे बघा, that is the hertz. म्हणजे number of cycles completed within 1 second, that is nothing but a frequency. किंवा त्यालाच आपण असं म्हणू शकतो, the number of cycles completed in a unit time is called as a frequency. Next one is the time period. Okay, these all definitions are very important as far as the derivation part. Next one is the time period. The time taken to complete one cycle is known as periodic time. Okay, the time taken to complete एक cycle complete होण्यासाठी जो काही required time आहे, that required time is known as a time period. The time taken to complete one cycle is called as a periodic time. It is represented in seconds per cycle. It is represented in seconds per cycle. Next one is the amplitude. So what is the amplitude? Amplitude is one of the displacement, but that is the maximum displacement. Maximum displacement of a vibrating system or a body from the mean equilibrium position is called as amplitude. Okay, so amplitude is nothing but it is a maximum displacement of a vibrating system or body from mean equilibrium position is called as a amplitude. And the last point is the free vibration, that already we know. Without applying any external force to the system is getting vibrated is nothing but a free vibration. Okay, I hope all this terminology you have understood. Periodic motion म्हणजे काय? The motion which repeats after a regular interval of time. After regular interval, motion start. That motion is nothing but a periodic motion. Frequency, the number of cycles completed in a unit time, that is the hertz, that is the unit, that is the cycles per second. Time period म्हणजे काय? The time taken to complete one cycle is called as a periodic time. Time taken to complete one cycle, that is the periodic time. Amplitude म्हणजे काय समजलं? It is the maximum displacement of a vibrating system or a body from the mean equilibrium position is called as the amplitude. And last one is the free vibration. That terminology already all of you know. That is the without applying any force to system, the system is getting vibrated is nothing but a free vibration system. Okay, now we move towards the next point, that is the natural frequency and the force vibration and the resonance. Okay, that natural frequency already you should know what is the natural frequency. So when a system exhibits free vibration which are undamped, बघा natural frequency कधी तयार होते तर natural frequency कधी असते तर त्या ठिकाणी it exhibits free vibration. पहिली गोष्ट म्हणजे की it is a free vibration. Second one is it is undamped. Undamped म्हणजे काय, त्या ठिकाणी dampers available नाहीत. Okay, means कुठलीही system, that system which executes the free vibrations which are undamped. The frequency of a system is called as a natural frequency. बघा, the system which executes the free vibration, that is the first point, and second one is the which are undamped and free vibrations. या situation मध्ये the system which is this frequency of such a system is known as the natural frequency. कुठल्या system this frequency कुठल्या system मध्ये, तर first one is the free vibration and second one is the undamped system. So such a system executes the free vibration. Okay, and that is the natural which creates such a system is called as the net frequency having the natural frequency. Third one is next one is the forced vibration, that already we know that terminology of forced vibration. There is some external force is applied on the system. Okay, and because of this forced vibration, the frequency is produces, that frequency is nothing but a forcing frequency. Because of the forced vibration, because of the external force, the system is getting vibrated. That system is known as a forcing frequency. Okay. Next point is the resonance. So what is the resonance? That point will be here. When a frequency of exciting force is equal to natural frequency of the system is called as a resonance. Resonance कधी तयार होतो? Resonance म्हणजे काय? त्या ठिकाणी sound created. When that sound is created, whenever the exciting force and the natural frequency both are same, at that time that resonance will be created. Means omega is equal to omega n, where omega is the omega n is the natural frequency and omega is the exciting frequency. So both this terminology will be equal to same. Then and then this resonance will be produces. Okay. Degrees of freedom, that already we know. Degrees of freedom is nothing but the system which is degrees of freedom in that system which is we have to define in the number of independent coordinates. Okay, that is nothing but degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom मध्ये काय करायचं आहे? The number of points. Okay, a number of independent coordinates by which we can define a complete position of all parts of the body is nothing but a degrees of freedom. Okay, after this, that all points we have covered. Now we move towards the next one. I request all of you, please write down these definitions. These definitions are very important. Write down natural frequency. Natural frequency. Write down natural frequency. When a system executes free vibrations, system executes free vibrations, which are undamped, which are undamped, which are undamped, which are undamped. The frequency of such a system is called, the frequency of such a system is called natural frequency. System, the frequency of such a system is called a natural frequency. Full stop. Below this write down forced vibrations. Below this write down forced vibrations. The vibrations of a system. The vibrations of a system under the influence of under the influence of an external force, under the influence of an external force are called forced vibration, are called forced vibrations, are called forced vibrations. The frequency of forced vibration, the frequency of forced vibrations is equal to the forcing frequency. is equal to the forcing frequency is equal to the forcing frequency. Full stop. Below this, write down resonance. 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 Write down when frequency of the exciting force. The frequency of the exciting force is equal to the frequency of the exciting force is equal to the natural frequency of system. Natural frequency of system. It is called as resonance. It is called as a resonance. Okay, already we have discussed this mass spring damper system in the last lecture. I will discuss you once again and let we will solve the derivation number 1. Okay, C is nothing but a damping coefficient, K is the stiffness, M is the mass, and there are the three forces will produces, that is mx double dot, that M into A, Cx dot, that is damping force, Kx is the restoring force, and F of T is the external force. So F internal is equal to F external forces. And from that derivation, that last equation is produces here. That is the F of T is equal to Mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx equal to F of T. Okay. So we'll solve the derivation number 1 over here. The name of the first derivation is undamped free vibration. Undamped free vibration. So please solve this, please draw this diagram in your notebook. I will wait for 2 minutes. Draw it fast, so we'll move towards the derivation. Draw this diagram in your notebook fast. Okay, please complete this diagram fast, so we'll move towards the next point. Okay. So now we'll see the what is this undamped free vibration system. That is the derivation number 1 from the unit number 2. So as per the name mentioned here, undamped free vibration. So for the undamped free vibrations, you can see undamped means C parameter is 0. So from this equation, from this diagram first, you understand there is no C parameter is over here. Okay, the K parameter is a restoring force which is related to the restoring force K into X, that is the restoring force, where M is the mass of the system, mass which is on the system, X is the displacement, and there is a free vibration is here. So as per the case of free vibration, that external force on the system is 0. Okay, so undamped system is nothing but a where the damping coefficient is 0 because it is a undamped system. And second one is the free vibration, so force vibration is not there, external force is not applied to the system, so that that external force F of t will be equal to 0. Okay, so if we split this, okay, that if we draw the free body diagram of this, so there will be a that M will be getting changed with respect to the acceleration as per the Newton's law, where that M will be changes, that is M into acceleration, that mx double dot. So you have to understood what is the x, that x is nothing but a displacement, x dot is nothing but a, it is a velocity, and x double dot is nothing but a acceleration. So that m into multiply of acceleration, that is the mass into acceleration, it is related to the Newton's second law which is applied over here. And the k is nothing but a spring constant k into x, x is the displacement. So there are the two forces will be produced into this system. First one is the k into x, that is the restoring force, and mx double dot, that is the mass into acceleration, that is the inertia force. Okay, and if we split or if we make the free body diagram of it, that C part will become here, that is k into x, that is the restoring force which is produced into the spring, where m is the mass of the system, and which is m into x double dot, that is the mass into acceleration. So these two terminology will become here, only these two terminology related to the mx double dot plus kx. Okay, and external force is 0. Okay, but you took this direction where kx is in the opposite direction towards the mx double dot. So we these are in opposite direction, kx is in the negative direction, mx double dot is in the positive direction. So based on this, we can write the equation as a mx double dot is equal to minus k into x. Okay, so total equation will become mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. That is the equation number 2, which is produced from this mass spring damper system. Okay, total our equation is, total our generalized equation is this fourth equation, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to f of t. But where the damping coefficient C is 0, that's why that Cx dot terminology becomes 0, and the external force is not there, that's why this f of t will be terminology is become 0. That's why the equation becomes mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay, so I hope all of you have understood up to this. Okay, so below the diagram you write down, consider the consider the undamped SDOF system. Consider undamped SDOF system is shown in figure, is shown in figure, is shown in figure to stop. The mass supported on frictionless rollers, the supported, the mass supported on frictionless rollers and can have frictionless rollers, frictionless rollers, and can have only translator motion in horizontal direction, only translator motion in horizontal direction. only translator motion in horizontal direction. Full stop. The unstretched length of the spring, the unstretched length of the spring the unstretched length of the spring, the unstretched length of the spring. Let the mass be displayed. Let the mass be displayed. Let the mass be displayed at a distance of at a distance of at a distance of x from its rest position. From its rest position, full stop. The results in a spring mass results in a spring force. The results in a spring force kx, comma, using Newton's second law, using Newton's second law, Newton's second law. Mass into acceleration is equal to mass into acceleration is equal to mass into acceleration is equal to force on the mass, force on the mass, force on the mass. Okay. So below is side on from the figure number 1, from the figure number 1, from figure number 1, by assuming free body diagram of it, free body diagram of it, mx double dot is equal to mx double dot is equal to mx double dot is equal to minus k into x. Mx double dot is equal to minus k into x. Okay. So below this write down mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay. Question number 1 is mx double dot is equal to minus kx. Below this write down mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. That is equation number 2. Okay. Now all of you understood we have to solve this equation. That is the one of the differential equation. In that differential equation we have to solve by the LDE or the differential equation concept. ज्या काही differential equation चा concept आहे, by using this we have to solve this equation. Okay. तर बघा already तुम्हाला already you have your syllabus is covered. That's LDE, that is the linear differential equations, partial differential equations from your second year or the first year syllabus of mathematics. So based on this we have to solve this derivation here. Okay. So before solving this derivation, you have to know what is the x, what is the x dot, and what is the x double dot. Okay. So x dot, where x is the displacement, x dot is the derivative of x with respect to t. So that will become a velocity. And if we take the double derivative of x with respect to t, then it will become an acceleration. Okay. Displacement is x, velocity is dx by dt, that is the x dot, and the third one is the acceleration, that is the double derivative of x with respect to t. So that will become a acceleration. Okay, so these parameters we have to use into this equation, solving this derivation. Okay, the solution of equilibrium equation for undamped free vibration system given in equation second can be obtained. The equation number 2, which is the mx double dot plus cx dot equal to 0, that equation we have to solve by putting that x of t is equal to c into e raised to st. It is a linear differential equation. Okay, so we have to solve this LDE or the partial differential equation mx double dot plus cx dot equal to 0. That equation we have to solve, and for that purpose we have to put here that x of t will be equal to c into e raised to st, where s and c are the variables over here. C is the constant, s is the variable. Okay, So if when we get the values of this quadratic equation of S and C, then and then we will solve this equation. त्यावेळेलाच आपल्याला काय म्हणू शकतो आपण, that derivation is like this, equation is like this. Okay, and we'll find the solution. कधी solution मिळालं असं म्हणणार आहोत, when we will get the value of C and value of S. Okay, so by putting this value in the equation number 1, already we know the equation number 2 is like this, that mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay, in that mx double dot plus cx dot is equal to 0, where x is the c into e raised to st, and where x dot is nothing but a first derivative of x. So that is the derivative of this first, that is the x dot, that is the dx by dt. Okay, so what is the derivative of c into e raised to st? Can you please tell me? Anyone can please tell me? Shinde, Vaishnavi Bhosle, Shital Dhotre, Pranali Mane, Shraddha Chavan, Sadikali, Shraddha Chavan. Please reply me fast. Please reply. Use chat box. What is the derivative of c into e raised to st, where s and c are the constant? C is the constant, s is the variable. Sorry. C is the constant into e raised to st, where what is the derivative of e raised to st? What is the derivative of e raised to t? So it is the e raised to t. But here the parameter is come, that is the e raised to st. So that the x dot of t, that is the derivative of x with respect to t, is here. That is the c into s into e raised to st. That is the first derivative of this c into e raised to st. But we want the second derivative also, that is the x double dot. So that is the d2x by dt square. So how we calculate the second derivative of this c into e raised to st? So c is the constant term, e raised to st is the second terminology. We have to take the derivative. First derivative already we have taken. From first derivative, we have to calculate the second derivative. So x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square is equal to c into s square, that s into s. Why? The c into s into e raised to st, where s is the first s is over here as per the first derivative. Again, if we take the second derivative of e raised to st, then again s will become here. So c and s both are the constant. T is the variable over here. So c into s square, that is the derivative into e raised to st, that is the second derivative of this x of t. Okay, so both this equation number, both this parameter of this x dot and x double dot, we have to put into the equation number 2. Okay, so I request all of you, please write down these parameters. So we'll move towards the next point. Okay, write down below this, where x double dot, where x double dot is the acceleration, is the acceleration, x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square, d2x by dt square is the acceleration of the mass, is the acceleration of the mass. Let's stop. The solution of equilibrium equation, the solution of equilibrium equation, where x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square, where the acceleration of the mass below this slide. Solution of equilibrium equation for undamped free single degree of freedom system, for undamped free single degree of freedom system given in equation 2 can be obtained below this slide. X of t is equal to c into e raised to s t. X of t is equal to c into e raised to s t. That is the equation number 3. Below this, write down equation number 3. And below this, write down the first derivative of x of t is equal to, that is the x dot t. X dot of t is equal to dx by dt. dx by dt dx by dt, and that is cs into e raised to s t. cs into e raised to s t. cs into e raised to s t. Below this, write down x double dot, that is the double derivative of x with respect to t. Double derivative of x with respect to t is equal to x double dot is equal to d2x by dt square. d2x by dt square is equal to cs square into e raised to s t. cs square into e raised to s t. That is the equation number 4. So by putting these two values in the equation number 2, by putting these two values below this, write down submitting the values of x, submitting values of x, submitting the values of x, submitting values of x, and from equation number 3 and 4, from equation number 3 and 4 in equilibrium equation 2, submitting the values of x, and from equation 3 and 4 in equilibrium equation in 2, we get okay. So I request to put these two values in the equation number 2. The value of x double dot and the value of x dot is put into the equation number 2. So if we put these two values, we get this c into e raised to s t, into bracket ms square plus k is equal to 0. C into e raised to s t, ms square plus k is equal to 0. ms square plus k is equal to 0. So that is the equation number 5. Okay, already we know the mathematical rule. If a into b is equal to 0, so we can call it as a is not equal to 0, then b is equal to 0. A into b is equal to 0, then we can call it as a is not equal to 0, then b is equal to 0. एक दोन्हीतला कुठला तरी a किंवा b हा काय असतो त्या ठिकाणी 0 असतो. Okay, but both terminologies will not be 0. So that concept we have to use here. तर त्या ठिकाणी बघा जो आउटसाइडला जो टर्म काढलेला आहे, that outside term is c into e raised to s t and the ms square plus k. So ms square plus k. So a is nothing but c into e raised to s t, that is the first term, and second one is nothing but ms square plus k. Okay, So from that, C and E raised to S, C and S, these both parameters will not be zero. कारण ते parameter आपल्याला काय करायचे? We have to find out these two parameters. Which parameter? S value and the C value. Okay, so this parameter will not be zero. Okay, so that C cannot be zero. का तर आपल्याला find out करायचं. C and the S terminology we have to find out. Okay, so that A is not equal to 0, then B is equal to 0. So B is nothing but the ms square plus k is equal to 0. Ms square plus k is equal to 0. So write down ms square plus k is equal to 0. ms square plus k is equal to 0. That is the equation number 6. Write down ms square plus k is equal to 0. ms square plus k is equal to 0. ms square plus k is equal to 0. So below this write down the above equation is known as characteristic equation of equilibrium equation. Characteristic equation of equilibrium equation. Characteristic equation of equilibrium equation. And the solution of this equation is the solution of equation is solution of the equation is solution of this equation is s is equal to आता this is a quadratic equation ms square plus k equal to 0. Okay, ms square plus k is equal to 0. It is one of the quadratic equation. So you have to solve the quadratic equation here, and based on this quadratic equation you have to calculate the two values of s. Ms square plus k is equal to 0. It is one quadratic equation in terms of s. Okay, so you have to solve the you will get the two values of s, that is s1 and the s2 values. Okay, so please do it fast. Calculate the values of s here, that s1 and s2 in terms of this plus and minus values. So please calculate from this equation number 6. Okay, so I will wait here to calculate the value of this s. Okay, I hope all of you have calculated the values of s, that s1 and s2, from the quadratic equation, last quadratic equation, that is ms square plus k is equal to 0. Okay, so s value, that s is that value of s will get in terms of minus and plus, because s square having the two roots, one is the s1 and second root is the s2. Okay, that s1 and s2, that positive root, and the second one is the negative root. Okay, so that s is equal to that plus or minus of k by m raised to 1/2. Okay, so ms square, so s is equal to root of k by m, that will be in terms of plus or minus case. Okay, so minus here, -1, it is shown by the I square, already we know. So if the minus sign will come, we will convert in terms of the composite, in terms of conjugate. So that I square is equal to -1, so in terms of complex number, so I square is equal to -1, so I will become here for this -1. Okay, I square will come here for the -1, but that parameter is in terms of the root. So root मध्ये असल्यामुळे that root of I square is equal to I, and omega n, what is this omega n? Omega n is equal to root of k by m. Okay, omega n ची value काय आहे? It is a natural frequency and it is a root of k by m, and so that this omega n is equal to root of k by m, and that omega n square is equal to the only k by m. Okay, and so that terminology s will become here in terms of I and the omega n. And if we take the omega n square and after its root, that will become as a only omega n. Okay, and so that the parameters or the roots of this equation s1 s2 is equal to plus or minus I omega n. Okay, so that is the two roots of the equation, so that will become equation number 7. Okay, I hope all of you have understood this. Below this, write down omega n is equal to k by m. Omega n is equal to root of k by m, which is known as natural frequency of the system, which is known as natural frequency of the system, which is known as natural frequency of the system, natural frequency of the system. The root in the equation 7, the root in equation 7 are known as eigenvalues of the problems. Eigenvalues of the problem, and the solution of equilibrium equation gives x of t value in terms of s1 and s2. Okay, आता आपण बघा इक्वेशन नंबर जे 2 होतं, तो 2 नंबरचं इक्वेशन काय अजून केलं होतं, that was the mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to 0. For solving this quadratic equation, we have put the x of t is equal to e raised to st. तर त्यामध्ये e raised to st. Okay, e raised to st म्हणजे त्या ठिकाणी c and yes, these two are the variable, these two are the constant parameter. We have to solve these two parameters, but we got this value of s in terms of s1 and s2. So that x of t becomes c1 into e raised to s1t plus c2 into e raised to minus s2t. s1 ची value काय आहे? That is the plus I omega n, and cs2 ची value आहे ती minus I omega n. So we have to put these two values over here, and from this the equation becomes as x of t is equal to c1 into e raised to I omega n t. That I parameter will become here, and plus c2 into e raised to minus I omega n t. So I hope all of you have understood this. Write down x of t is equal to c1 into e raised to I omega nt C1 into e raised to I omega nt plus C2 plus C2 into e raised to plus C2 into e raised to minus I omega nt C2 into e raised to minus I omega nt. That is the equation number 8. Okay. So as per the mathematical equations, we know the e raised to plus or minus I alpha. So what is its expansion? E raised to plus or minus I alpha. Then what is the expansion? So that expansion formulas we have to use here. So e raised to plus or minus I alpha t, that will be equal to, formula is cos alpha t plus or minus I sin alpha t. So okay, so we have to solve this equation number 8 for these two parameters, which are e raised to plus or minus alpha t. So both these formulas we will use into this equation number 8 and we will solve the derivation. We will solve this equation number 8. Get the values of C1 and C2 and the values of S. S already we get, that is the R plus or minus I omega n. By putting this value in terms of equation number 8, we will get that C1 into e raised to I omega n plus C2 into e raised to minus I omega n. Now we will move towards the next one. E raised to plus or minus I alpha t. Okay. So put this formula over here in the equation number 8. Put this formula over here in the equation number 8. So e raised to plus or minus I alpha t, e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus minus I sin alpha t, cos alpha t plus minus I sin alpha t. Cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t. So we can rewrite this sentence. We can rewrite the above equation number 8. We can rewrite the equation number 8. We can rewrite the equation number 8. E raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t. Cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t. So put these values where e raised to I sin alpha, e raised to I alpha t, put plus sign, where e raised to minus I alpha t, put minus sign. Okay. Okay. So put these two values in the equation number 8 and solve the equation. And last equation will come as a x of t is equal to a1 cos omega n t plus a2 sin omega n t. Okay. C1 into cos alpha t, write down C1 into cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t, that is the first bracket, plus C2 into cos alpha t minus I sin alpha t, that is the second bracket. Now you split these two brackets and take the sin parameter at one side and take cos parameter at another side. Okay. So in both these constants, C1 and C2 will become at the first, C1 minus C2 will come at second stage. Okay. So C1 plus C2 into I, it's called as A1 into cos omega nt plus A2 into sin of omega nt. So that will be the equation number 9, which will be produced from this, putting the values of e raised to plus or minus I alpha t in the equation number 8. Okay. Now we have to solve this equation number 9. So this we have to solve this equation number 9 now with a different boundary conditions. We have to solve these equations with a different boundary conditions. Okay, please write down these formulas. E raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t plus or minus. Okay, you put these values in terms of x of t. So x of t will become C1 in bracket cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t bracket complete plus C2 into cos alpha t minus I sin alpha t. Okay, so that is the equation number 8 becomes. Now you separate the terminology, cos terminology and the sin terminology separately, and the whatever the constant C1, C2 and the C1 plus C2 and the C1 minus C2, that is indicated by A1 and A2 over here, and that equation we can rewrite in terms of A1 and A2, so that will become A1 cos omega n plus A2 sin omega n. Okay, that is the equation number 9. That is the equation number 9. Okay, so below this, write down where C1 and C2 are the constant, where C1 and C2 are the constant, where C1 and the C2 are constant. Stop. By using e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus or minus cos alpha t plus or minus I sin alpha t. We can rewrite x of t is equal to a1 cos omega nt plus a2 sin omega nt a1 cos omega nt plus a2 sin omega nt. That is the equation number 9. Below this write down where a1 and a2 are constants. A1 and A2 are new constants. The components C1 and C2 or A1 and A2 can be determined from the components C1 and C2, A1 and A2 can be determined from initial conditions of the system. Initial conditions of the system. If the values of displacement, if the values of displacement, x of t and velocity x dot of t is equal to dx by dt are specified as x0 and x dot 0 where t is equal to 0. Okay. तर या ठिकाणी बघा this a1 and a2 are the new constants, c1 c2 are the old constants. Okay, c1 c2 are replaced by the a1 and a2 over here. And now we have to apply the initial conditions to that system. And at this initial condition, that displacement x of t is at time t is equal to 0, that displacement is x naught. And we have to take the initial velocity, that is the x dot naught. Means we have to take the first derivative. At the time, the initial velocity at time t is equal to 0, that is the x dot 0, that is the v naught. Okay. So based on this, we have to apply the condition number 1. At time t is equal to 0, displacement is 0. Okay. So that is equation number 1. That equation number 10. Put the time t is equal to 0, x is equal to x dot. Okay, so you can put this value in the equation number 9. At time t is equal to 0, so x is equal to x naught. The time t is equal to 0, so x value that is the x of 0. Yes, that is the x0. Okay, a1 cos omega nt. So cos 0 is 1. So a1 ची value काय मिळाली आपल्याला? That a1 is equal to x naught. a1 ची value काय मिळाली या ठिकाणी? We'll get the value of x naught is equal to a1. Same condition if you go for the calculating the x dot velocity. So at time t is equal to 0, velocity will be equal to v naught. So at this condition, if you go for this x dot, you have to calculate the first derivative of this equation number 9. So how to calculate the derivative of this x of t, that is the displacement. We have to calculate the derivative. So dx by dt is equal to so you take the first derivative of this a1 into cos of omega nt. So what is the derivative of this term? A1 is the constant. The derivative of cos is minus sign, means minus a1 into omega n into sine of omega nt. So that is the first terminology. In second terminology, plus a2 into sine of omega into t. Okay, a2 is the constant into sine derivative as the, it is the cos omega nt into omega n. Okay, so we have to put this terminology at time t is equal to 0. The velocity at time t is equal to 0 is equal to v naught or the x dot naught. So that you can see the equation number 11, that x dot naught, that is the velocity, that is the derivative of x with respect to t, and there the time period t is equal to 0, and that's why that will become x dot naught, and it's equal to the parameter will become as a a2 into omega n. Means from that we will get the value of a2. Means constant values we will get a1 as x naught and a2 as a x naught dot divided by omega n. Okay, so if we put these two values in the equation number 9, so the total equation becomes x of t is equal to x naught into cos of omega n t plus a2 ची value किती आहे, that is the x dot naught divided by omega n into sine of omega n. So that is the total equation of solution of equation for the undamped free variation system. Okay, I hope all of you have understood up to this. Okay. So write down C1 and C2 are the constant. C1 and C2 are constant. C1 and C2 are constant. By using C1 and C2 are constant. By using e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to e raised to plus or minus I alpha t is equal to cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t. Cos alpha t plus I sin alpha t. So below this we can rewrite x of t is equal to a1 into cos of omega nt, a1 into cos of omega nt plus a2 into sin of omega nt plus a2 into sin of omega nt. So that is the equation number 9. Equation number 9. Below this write down where a1 and a2 are new constant. Where a1 and a2 are new constant. The components C1 and C2, or A1 and A2, can be determined from initial conditions of the system. If the values of displacement x of t, and velocity x dot of t is equal to dx by dt x dot of t is equal to dx by dt are specified as x naught and x dot naught at t is equal to 0. We have a1 is equal to x naught, and a2 is equal to x naught by omega n. Hence, by putting values of a1 and a2, in the equation number 9, the total solution of the equation subjected to initial condition is x of t is equal to x naught write down this last equation. X naught cos omega n t. X naught cos omega n t plus x naught upon omega n. X naught upon omega n into sin omega n t. That is the equation number 12. Okay, and below the set down. This is the solution of equation. For Undamped free vibration system. Undamped free vibration system. Undamped free vibration system. Okay. In this way, our equation number 1, which is based on the undamped free vibration system, is completed over here. Now we'll move towards the next derivation, which is based on the damped free vibration. So I request all of you please draw this diagram in your book. So we'll see the derivation part of this second equation. I hope all of you please draw this diagram. Damped free vibration system. I will wait for 5 minutes. So please draw this diagram in your notebook. So we move to the next derivation, which is the damped free vibration system. You have to draw these two diagrams. One is with system of single equilibrium freedom system, which discuss damper, and second one is also free body diagram of this damped free vibration system. So I will wait for this. Please draw this diagram. So we'll move towards the next point. you have completed, we'll move towards the next point. Okay. So in this system, you understand first what is the difference between this first equation, that is the undamped free vibration, and now in the second derivation, that is the damped free vibration. So first you understand what is the difference between these two types of the equation. These two types of the equation. One is the undamped free vibration that we have seen. In that undamped free vibration system, that damper coefficient, that C terminology, was become zero. So in equation number one, the damper was zero. That's why that C terminology, that is the Cx dot, the damping coefficient was become zero. But in this system, there is a damped free vibration. This damper is provided to the system, and so that the terminology C parameter, that is the damping coefficient, damping force, will be called in this system. But second point is here, this system is a free vibration, means there is no any external force is applied to the system, so that the f of the parameter will be equal to 0. Okay, so you have to understand these two basic differences over here. One is the damped vibration and undamped vibration. Second one is the free vibration. In both these cases, in the equation number one, it was about the free vibration, and the second case also it was about the free vibration. But difference is that with damping and the without damping. In the case number one, in the derivation number one, there was an undamped system, so that C parameter was 0, and that's why that Cx dot, the damping force, was 0. But coming towards this equation number second, it is a damped system, so that the Cx dot or the C parameter will be from here. I hope all of you have completed the diagram. And so that the forces produces into this system. Which forces will be produced here? One is related to the K and second one is related to the C. So K is the spring constant K. So that the spring constant K, so equation will be produced. So the historic force will be produced into the system with respect to K and X. And Cx dot, that is the damping coefficient. And so that because of this damping coefficient, the force produced is the damping force, and that is the C x dot. So that is the damping force when the damper is provided into the system. So now we move towards the next point. If you have completed this figure, we'll move towards the next point. Please use chat box if anybody has. If you have. Okay, below this side down. In many practical systems, the vibrational energy is gradually converted to. In many practical systems, in many practical systems, in many practical systems, the vibrational energy is gradually converted to many systems. In many practical systems, the vibrational energy is gradually converted to heat or sound. Or sound. And due to reduction in the energy, due to reduction in the energy, the response such as displacement of the system, displacement of the system gradually decreases, gradually decreases, gradually decreases. Stop. The mechanism by which The vibrational energy is gradually converted into heat or sound. Gradually converted into heat or sound is known as damping. Is known as damping. Stop. As stated earlier, as stated earlier, the viscous damping force F, as stated earlier, the viscous damping force F, viscous damping force F is proportional to the velocity x dot or p and can be expressed as can be expressed as F is equal to minus Cx dot Cx dot minus Cx dot, where F is the damping force and C is the damping coefficient and X dot is the velocity. Okay. So F is equal to Cx dot, where C is the damping coefficient, or coefficient of viscous, and negative sign indicates the damping force is opposite to the direction of velocity. Opposite to the direction of velocity. So the first in this second equation, that is the damped free vibration. There is the first force which is produces as Cx dot, and which is the damping force. Okay, and which is in the negative flow. It is indicated by the negative sign. Why it is indicated by sign? Because there is the damping force is opposite to the direction of velocity, and so that it is indicated as a negative sign, and that is the term is F is equal to minus Cx dot. In that C is the damping coefficient and X dot is the velocity. So total equation is becomes mx double dot is equal to minus Cx dot and minus Kx by the free body diagram. And if you put this rearrangement if we made for the equation number 14, it will become as a mx double dot plus Cx dot plus Kx equal to 0. Okay, so write on this. Where C is the damping constant, or coefficient of viscous, and negative sign indicates that the damping force is opposite to the direction of velocity. So below this write down mx double dot is equal to Cx minus Cx dot minus Kx minus cx dot minus k into x. That is the equation number 14 from this chapter. And below this, write down the final equation becomes, and that equation we have to solve for the resolution. Mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to 0. Okay, mx double dot plus cx dot plus kx equal to 0. And from this equation, we have to solve the value. We have to calculate the values of c and value of s. And if you calculate this value and if you put this value in this equation number 15, then that will be a solution of equation for this damped free vibration system. Okay, I hope up to this equation number 15, all of you have understood derivations. Okay. Okay, now we'll see the next step, which is same as far as the equation number 1. So for solving this quadratic equation, we have to put the value of x of t in terms of c into e raised to st. Okay, so for solving this equation, we should know the value of x of t, x dot of t, and x double dot of t. And these three values we have to put into the equation number 15. Okay, so for that, put the value of x of t is equal to c into e raised to st. So I request all of you, please try to solve by putting this value x of t is equal to c into e raised to st in the equation number 15. Okay, so put now. You can put the solution of equilibrium equation. Solution of equilibrium equation for damped free SDOF system. For damped free SDOF system, given in equation 15, can be obtained x of t is equal to c into e raised to st. C into e raised to st. That is the equation number 16. Below this, write down where c and s are constant. Where c and s are constant. Where c and s are constants. Below is write down taking first derivative of x of t. Taking first derivative of x of t, that is the dx by dt is equal to x dot of t. X dot of t is equal to dx by dt. Dx by dt is equal to c into s into e raised to st. C into s into e raised to st. Okay, c into s into e raised to st, that is the first derivative. Now by taking the second derivative, by putting the second derivative, how we can calculate the second derivative? Already we have calculated this derivative in the last derivation also. X double dot is equal to d2x by dt square, and that is the cs square into e raised to st. cs square into e raised to st. Now this equation number 17 and 18 we have to put into the equation number 15. So from that we'll get the equation as c into e raised to st into bracket ms square plus cs plus k equal to 0. Okay. So as per the mathematical equation, a into b is equal to 0. So at that time, a is not equal to 0, then b is equal to 0. So for same here, a is not equal to 0. C and s parameter are not 0. We have to calculate the values of c and s so that quadratic equation ms square plus cs plus k equal to 0. Okay. So we have to solve this derivation that quadratic equation to find out the values of S1 and S2, and we have to put these values in the equation number 16. Okay, so up to this we have covered over here. So whatever the remaining part we'll see in the next lecture. So we will stop here for this today's lecture. Thank you all. Please write your roll numbers in the chat box. Now I will end the meeting. Before that, you write the roll number in the chat box.